Go ahead and get started. At this time, we have offensive coordinator Chad Scott. Questions for Coach Scott, correct?
So, Chad, start with Nicco. And first of all, what you saw from him in Arizona, what have you asked him to concentrate on this past week?
He was relaxed. He was ready. He was prepared. We did a great job being simple in the game plan in terms of just not having as many concepts and not necessarily concepts, a lot less formation, a little more concepts. So we could practice a lot more defense, practice more looks. And so he was comfortable with what he was seeing, the reactions he was going to get, and where the receivers or running backs were going to be. And he went out there and played comfortably, played ball, did a phenomenal job. And we asked him to sustain the readiness he took into that game.
So you said you kept it a little bit simple. Do you expand upon his package a little bit this
Not
week?
necessarily simple in terms of concepts, simple in terms of formations.
Okay.
Had a variety of concepts, but lesser formations, so we could work different looks. So the concepts weren't minimal. It was the ways in which we ran them, so we could work with different looks. And so he was confident with what he was going to see.
Do you expand the formations a little bit now that
No, we're going to keep it the same. There's no need to do it. Just find different ways to, get our guys in space and, so we could practice more looks, lesser formations, same concepts, a little more concepts, but if you in the lesser formation, you get to practice different looks, and you get to practice answers to those looks.
Third crack against this sort of defense here with the three safeties. What do you want to see from them this week?
Who, Nicco?
No, just the overall the offense. Getting to the O-line, getting to the second level. Some of it.
Yeah, that's that right there. O-line getting to second level. We got to continue. We did a great job getting guys in space last week, getting on the edge, which is really good. Not necessarily just hitting it up and down in the middle a lot. Get on the edge and putting our guys in space, letting our guys, make plays in space. And so looking for the same thing, looking for guys to win the one-on-one battles. I thought we did that. I thought Nicco threw the ball really well, put the ball in the area code so those guys can make plays on the ball. He threw the ball phenomenally. I think 81% on his completion percentage. Could have been more. I think 2 of the passes we completed, we took the penalty instead, and we missed on the go ball with Traylon Ray. So he threw the ball well, put it in a position where they can make plays on the ball. They made plays on the ball. Receivers did a great job blocked on the perimeter. We got to continue to sustain that. Jaheim did a great job running the space. Got to continue to sustain that. So those are things we want to continue to sustain.
Did Nicco do anything that even surprised you at all? Because obviously he looks good here, but that completion percentage.
I thought he did a phenomenal job of his decision making when he got outside the pocket. First of all, he did a great job sitting in the pocket, and when he got outside the pocket, where he could have easily got rattled, I thought he did a phenomenal job making a play. And particularly, it was a naked action pass we called, and he's rolling out, and he did a great job pump faking the defender and finding Traylon Davis on the drag route, and then we called a screen for Cole Taylor, which was that was a heads-up play. He had 2 guy defenders in his face, and it's a play where at the screens broke down. He taught to throw the ball at the feet of the receiver, and he found a way to get it to Cole, and it turned out to be a phenomenal play. And it's a third down and long. He could, obviously it's a risk. You got to sometimes, as to be a great player, to make great plays, you got to take risk, and we don't necessarily want to throw the ball between the linebacker, but he made a heck of a play to Hudson Clement. Hudson had a phenomenal concentration catch. Down in the goal line, we went forward on 4th and 3. He did a phenomenal job going through his progression, sitting in the pocket, trusting the protection, and made a phenomenal throw where the only person that could have made the play was Hudson, and Hudson came down with it. And so those are plays right there, man, that you see from seasoned veterans. And to see him do that in his first opportunity to start that, those 3 plays were huge. And then even just his poise toward the end of the game. To keep that same poise toward the end of the game and close out the game with the ball in our hands, he looked good. So with those are things we want to continue to sustain.
Of all those things that you saw that you liked, was there any one characteristic that stood out to you? Because, you really see poise and calmness might have been at the top. Am I wrong?
That would be it. The poise. Like I say, even toward the end of the game, those guys rallied and was trying to make a run to come back with 4 minutes and 35 or 39 seconds to go. To go out there and take the field with that kind of poise, that kind of calmness, to go out there and, execute the game plan. He handled a lot of bad snaps. That was one of the biggest things, too. We had several bad snaps, but he didn't allow it to affect him. He didn't panic. He caught the snap, got his eyes back up, didn't catch the snap that was bad, and just get up and throw the ball or get up and, make a bad decision. he caught the ball, got his eyes back up, trusted the guys in front of him. So he did a phenomenal job, just managing the game as well. So those would be, he has several things I could talk about. His poise being the biggest and not panicking like on the bad snap or when things might have broke down.
Are you surprised that the bad snaps are still a thing? I mean, I'm sure you guys are trying to work on
Yeah,
that.
I am surprised it's a bad thing. We work on it. Coach Moore doing a phenomenal job working it. It's just, I'm not sure.
Is there anything that you've been able to pinpoint and say, okay, here's why? Because I mean, originally it was weird wrap on the hand injury thing.
Right.
But, I mean, has it evolved from
I'm not sure, to be quite honest with you. It's an issue we got to continue to work, and we are working it daily, every day, and they've been great since we've been back. They've been great, so just got to continue to work it daily. But he did a phenomenal job handling it. It didn't affect him at all.
Is Cincinnati a big blitzing team? It looks like their 18 sacks have come from 6 guys, so not a big pressure team. Just they do a phenomenal job creating one-on-ones. They do a great job trying to attack the weakness of the offense and putting their better players on the lesser players offensively and hoping their guys win the one-on-one battles and that's how they created a lot of their TFLs and sacks because they're not a high pressure team. They're more so bend on break. But again, they do a great job scheming ways to put their better rushers on offense's lesser protectors, whether that be protection or athletic ability.
You mentioned the poise of Nicco. Is that just a sign of how much growth he's shown over the last year or so?
That was huge, man. It is. It's a real big poise, because I talked to you guys, I think, a week ago or so, and we talked about when he came in on the, I think it was Kansas Iowa State game, where he didn't have such a good practice, and he was off. But last week, he's back into it, and prepared really well. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't know I didn't think he played that. I didn't think that he wouldn't, but to see him go out there and execute those situations, in particular, like I said, that 4th down on the goal line, high pressure moment. That's a big decision. We made to go forward, and it's him to have that kind of poise to sit back in the pocket, man, and make that throw. That was phenomenal. And like I said, toward the end of the game, to see him go out there and execute that was huge. So that shows the growth, and it shows his maturation and how much time he's put into learning the offense and being comfortable with everybody, all the plays and all the guys around him.
When Cincinnati's had issues this year, they have allowed teams to run against them.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're a team that wants to establish the run, but it's been up and down in terms of how much success you've been able to have. Has that been a focal point, and what is the state of the running game for you, and how much more can still be out there?
Yeah, there's a lot more we can do. We got to continue to get better. Continue to just find ways to put our guys, put Jaheim in space and let him go out there and create some plays. Sometimes we got to, I thought we did a great job last week, finding non-traditional ways just getting the ball instead of just putting them in the backfield, handing it to them and whatnot. A lot of times people are junking up the box, making it hard for our guys to climb up to the second level. So finding different ways to get him on the edge and also just being able to, what Nicco did last week was huge. Being able to throw the ball downfield and those guys make plays down the field. That is probably the biggest thing for us is his accuracy, his ability to throw the ball down the field, and their ability to go down there and make the plays. That alone, when you watch that film, you got to respect the fact that we can throw the ball and we can catch the ball. And so I believe that right there help us run the ball a lot more successfully.
One of those catches was Jalen Anderson that sealed the win
How about
for you.
that?
So
That's phenomenal.
he obviously hadn't gotten a whole lot of
Right.
opportunities this year. What did that say for him?
That says a lot for him. I talked about that to the entire offense. You talk about, paying attention and always, locked in and, knowing exactly what's going on because you never know when your number's called. The one play he gets in the game, he seals the game. And that's a tough catch. And even that particular play right there, I don't know why I didn't talk about that particular play. That's a play where it's third and 7, I believe. 3rd and long for sure. And you wouldn't think that first of all, Jalen does a phenomenal job. He does his job. His job is to get width. Width gets him open, versus a curl flat defender that's responsible for his area. And he does a great job out flanking him. Nicco does a great job, goes through a progression. One might think you would throw the ball to a running back on 3rd and 7 in the flats. But his progression took him there. And that's the trust of him and the guys around and doing what they're supposed to do and doing their job. And that's a phenomenal job by Jalen getting out. He had protection. He did a great job checking protection and getting out fast, making it almost look as if it was just a free release route. I mean, he didn't have protection. So he got out fast, and he was able to outflank the flat player right now. And Nicco did a great job getting it to him, and Jalen caught it and press 4. That was a phenomenal job. We always say press 4, get 4 yards, efficient play. And he did exactly what he coached to do. They both did exactly what they coached to do. And we talk about that all the time, being disciplined. Do what you coach to do, when you're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to do it. So that's great to see from him. Proud of him.
Did you see him juggle it for a second?
You know what? I did not see that. I didn't see that till the next day. I did not see that. I told him that. I had no idea he juggled that ball. But great concentration. He came down with it. I'm proud of him. That was phenomenal. Great to see.
What does Nicco need to work on to get even better to another level? I mean, obviously that was a great performance, but Arizona's had a struggling year. You can't just live off that.
Right. He got to continue to sustain his preparation, sustain his mental focus. He doesn't. I always tell him all the time, the focus does not come natural. So he got to be intentional about it. He can treat every game moving forward like he's going back home to Arizona. He had a different level of focus for that particular game. But he's got to continue to sustain his preparation, sustain his practice habits. He got to continue to sustain his decision making. He can get better in that regard. Even though through 81%, he can still make better decisions, throw even better than that. He understands that. And then, like I said, we continue to do what we plan on moving forward is keeping the formations minimal and concepts more, where we can work on the looks he's going to see and then the answers to the looks when we have success with those concepts.